Ever since I was a little girl, I've had this feeling of longing. And for a long time, I didn't even know what I was longing for. I have tried to find it in art, in dance, in music. I have tried to find it in people, friends, significant others, strangers. I grew up most of my life in a town with roughly 200,000 people. Depending on what you compare it to, it's a lot of people. But once again, depending on what you compare it to, it's quite a small amount. Out of these 200,000 people, I can probably count on my two hands how many I've met that both look like me and think like me. Those who also carry the feeling of longing. From the age of 1 to 18, I kept looking for one. Just one person within these 200,000 that could fulfill this feeling of longing, that could tell me what that feeling meant, what it does to a person to long too much. And how do you know when you've found it? And what does it look like? Can you touch it? Will I finally feel satisfied? By 18, I had looked at most faces in that town and felt nothing but like I was different, dreaming too big, unrealistic expectations of how good life can be. So I left. Whenever it rains really heavily, I love to just sit by the window and watch. I don't know why I find it so fascinating. I moved to a country I had very little knowledge about. A country where everyone was a stranger. All 6 million of them. And for the first time in my life, I faced the struggle of having to start entirely from scratch, where every interaction is new, every face and every name unfamiliar. But I was also given a choice, to keep going or give in to fear. So I kept going. I kept looking. I thought, there are 6 million people here. I ought to find one who understands, right? And I met a lot of lovely people. I have always been so incredibly blessed in life to have been surrounded by such sweet, wonderful human beings. The kind of people who truly and deeply care. But I wasn't satisfied then either. My heart was full, but my soul was still longing. And despite 6 million people, I still didn't feel like I fully belonged anywhere. So at 19, I left again. This time to a country even further away, probably as far away as you can get from my small town before getting closer again. And I loved it. I loved it so much. I loved being so close to the ocean. People were kind and the weather was nice. I remember seeing more people who looked like me and who also seemed to share the same mindset. But I was so lonely. Probably the loneliest I have ever been. It felt like looking at everyone else through a glass window. Like looking at everything I ever wanted and all I ever wanted to be. But I couldn't reach it. I couldn't be it. I felt isolated. But I tried. I really did try until I couldn't anymore. So at 20, I left again. This time, back to my town of 200,000 people. Back to familiar faces. And saying it felt good would be an understatement. I felt safe, I felt loved and welcomed. But my sense of longing was louder than ever. It was like my soul was screaming for me to run. Run as fast as you can. And so at 21, I did. This time to a country with a population of 71 million people and a city of 18 million unfamiliar faces. I didn't know what to expect, but I was ready for it all. And I was met with nothing but love and freedom. I felt free. Like the whole world was mine and that somehow everything was going to be fine. I felt the longing in my soul quiet down a little. Amidst the chaos of a big city, I felt calm. Until March 2020, when the world as we know it changed for everyone. The entire world was going through the same crisis at the same time. People had to adapt, and it was scary. More for some and less for others. I was faced with a choice, to stay and adapt, or leave. So I left. For the second time, I moved back to my town of 200,000 people. Only this time, it felt like a failure. Like I had failed to give myself what I so desperately needed. Like I was forced back to square one. And as much as my feelings were somewhat justified, that mindset did me no favors. The following years were hard. My mental health was spiraling, my close relationships growing more and more complicated. Even looking myself in the mirror was hard at some points. But I kept going as best as I could. I went back to school, I made new friends and kept some of my old. Within the first 2 years back, I moved 4 times. The first time out of my parents' basement. The second time because of a guy who turned out not to be the love of my life. It lasted 2 weeks before I had to find somewhere else to live again. After that, I had 2 apartments of my own. 2 apartments I love and appreciate so much. I was able to create a home, a sense of stability, a place that was truly mine and mine only. And things got better. I settled. I felt content. I started to think that maybe my longing wasn't something to be found outside of myself. Maybe it was something I was meant to learn to live with. The type of feeling that just sits with you, but that doesn't need resolving. And suddenly I fit. Suddenly I could see the person I was becoming in other people as well. I found myself walking down the same path I used to refuse to step on. A path so beaten down by all the people who'd walked down there before me.
So they have a wall here that says, when did you last listen to your heart? And I just read some of the things on here and it's so beautiful. So one says, I always listen to my heart and I believe that it's always true to what I want. And then another board says, what star seed lives within you? And somebody said, everything in this world is about love. When it's not, it's about the absence of it. I absolutely love the idea of putting up a whole wall like that, just asking deep questions and let people write it down on post-it notes, and then you just kind of share your little thoughts with strangers. It's so sweet.
And then came the day where I met the person who hopefully will turn out to be the love of my life. And there it was. The last piece, right? I was just about to turn 25. I had a great career ahead of me. He did too. And then came the day when I couldn't get out of bed. And I didn't, for 4 months. At the time, I understood I was burnt out and that it was going to take time for me to recover from that. But in hindsight, I know that that was my entire being screaming. My soul feeling completely shattered by what I had done to myself. My heart was drained, my mind empty. I had built a life around what I was supposed to do. My outside was smiling, but my inside was so sad. I was supposed to be grateful and happy, but I wanted nothing of it. I eventually did get out of bed, and together we moved to a new city, 2 million instead of 200,000. And I managed to get out of bed every morning, just like most people do. I got a new job in a fancy building in the city, and again began the searching. Every morning I scanned through faces, trying to find something, anything, anyone. I tried to romanticize the ordinary, the everyday. But the one question I couldn't silence was, what now? The day I turned 26, I realized I had been suffocating myself for over 4 years. My soul was desperate to continue searching. My heart wanted so badly to feel seen and heard. So I left. I went back to the one place that had once opened its arms for me. Only this time, I didn't have to go alone. Hand in hand, we embarked on a new adventure, halfway across the world. Thousands of miles from what we once called home, leaving everything behind. Family, our jobs, apartment, our salaries, everything. And despite leaving again, my heart is full, my soul is calm, and my mind is open. I'm still longing, and I might still not fully understand what for, but knowing I'm on my way towards something brings me joy and puts my longing at ease. I feel like I'm starting to breathe again, like there's actually enough space for me to stretch my arms and just be. It's both a blessing and a curse, being born with the feeling of longing, but most days I see it as a blessing. I will always want to keep learning, exploring, and challenging myself because of it. Maybe I'll pick up and leave again someday. I don't know. But what I do know is the importance of listening to your own heart and soul, and that its voice might not always align with the people around you. And that's okay. Because those whose souls also feel the longing will eventually find you. Or maybe you'll find them first. But living a life for the sake of other people just simply isn't worth it. Someone else's happiness in exchange for yours isn't a genuine exchange, it's a sacrifice. And it's going to cost you a lot more than just temporary displeasure. It's going to cost you the person you want to be. Ever since I was a little girl, I've had the feeling of longing. And even now, as I'm almost 27, I still do. But I have learned what it costs not to give in to it. And it's a price I will never be ready to pay again. So I will continue to let my longing lead the way to new experiences, people, and places. Because the person I want to become is not just waiting for me. She's waiting for me to create her. And who she becomes and what that will cause is entirely up to me.